450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Gutterworks. Always well hung, just like our friend Justin Barsha there. So thanks to Gutterworks for coming on board. Make sure to check them out. Links in the description down below. All right, so let's start with the Sexton win here. Some notes I had from Sexton yesterday, because obviously, like we said, we were at the races there. Whoop speed was absolutely incredible. That guy was faster through the whoops than basically anyone else I saw all day. Came in with more speed, carried more speed. I mean, bike just planted and going through those whoops. So that was cool to see. And honestly, last night, as far as that race goes, his start was not great. He worked his way through every single one of those guys just like he had to. He was patient. He didn't do anything like he's done in the last however many weeks there. Mm-hmm. And the Moto gods smiled on him. And even though it sucks to say because we all like AP and everybody wanted to see him win, including, I think, almost everybody on that gate, the Moto gods...
tabled.
The turns tabled. The Moto gods smiled down on Sexton and gave him that one. And so now we've got one.
Yeah, I think it was just a Moto God thing that was just like, this is the feeling you give riders every week.
Yeah.
Let's put you on the opposite end.
Yeah, so bit of a bummer that he gets penalized there.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Has the penalty been 7 points before? Because I feel like that's a lot.
I don't know, dude. At this point, it's just like, here's what I really think they do. I think when it comes to penalties and stuff like this, they take a rabbit hat, a magic hat, and they shred up a bunch of paper
with a bunch of different penalties on it.
A bunch of different penalties.
Pull one out.
Just pull it out. I think that's what they do.
Like I said, honestly, I think it's stupid. We all saw Wilson go down between those two doubles, okay?
He's on like fantasy team.
We all knew that he was laying there. We won't get into fantasy because I don't want to talk about it. They all knew he was laying there. And my thing is like, if those lights were off on that thing, then he has a case to be like, look, I rolled through the red cross flag, which is what it is. When the red cross flag is out, I don't have to roll that whole damn section.
But here's the thing, though, is even though Dean was up and riding,
yeah,
they were probably blinking still.
Yeah.
Which is...
Like I said,
which is stupid, but they were blinking.
My big question is, were those lights on? If the lights were on, okay, fine. He really broke the rule.
Yeah, did they have footage of it? Do you know?
I have not seen anything yet.
I don't know about that yet, so I can't speak on it.
And I don't know. Again, Sexton was doing all the right things that I saw in press that he was doing of like, you know what? I can say whatever I want to, but they're going to do whatever they want to do, which is the total and complete thing. But I have to be honest, man. And we'll get to this a little later here. The AMA is such a joke that, because I'm going to talk about something that happened last week, that it's like, dude, come the fuck on.
Where does that put Sexton points-wise?
Let me see here.
Like before and after penalty.
So he is in third. He has 208 points. Let me see here. Webb is in first with 225, so that's 17. And
so it's 10 without the penalty?
Yep.
10-point gap.
And Tomac has 222.
3 down.
Yeah. So, no. 17. And then this would be 6. So he's 11 from Tomac, and he's 11 out of second and 17 out of first.
Mm-hmm.
But again, and here's the thing, like you made the comment there in the Kev interview about Webb yelling at the manager's tower and pointing at Sexton and stuff. I am very willing to say that KTM is probably the number one team to go, if he starts cracking off a couple in a row, we're all screwed. Because
do something about this.
Everybody knows he's faster than everybody else.
Yeah, but the thing is that 7 points is, Kev said he doesn't care about the 7 points, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But if he starts reeling a couple of these off, he's going to wish he had them 7 points.
He is. So, I don't know, man. It's a bit of a bummer because it was going to make the points a lot more interesting. Because you figure he gets those 7 back, and this is if, ands, whats, or buts, but he's then only 4 off of Tomac for second, and we'll get to Tomac here in a second, and then he's only 11 or 10 off a Coop, and all of a sudden, boom, we've got a race again here.
Race.
Yep. So, and speaking of Coop, so Coop gets second there, and
Extends the points lead.
kind of a quiet second, in my opinion, though. Like, did you really pay a lot of attention to him all night, other than when he was in that group getting passed? And he was going backwards, which was interesting, too, for a while there.
He went backwards and then made passes again.
Yeah.
Which was, I have to go back and watch it again, but again, I was keeping an eye on, like, Dean got up and didn't really, Dean's on my fantasy team. Anderson was on my fantasy team. Just, oh, God, what a terrible night. AC was on my fantasy team. Watched him crash in front of me, too. But,
yep.
No, I didn't really keep an eye on Webb too much.
I didn't either. I saw him going backwards, and I was like, that. But then again, I feel like all these guys kind of went backwards, and then they came forwards, because like Tomac was the same way. I thought he got passed several times, and maybe again, we talk, it's hard to keep track of everything in the stadium all at once, but I thought he went backwards and then came forwards again too, because I was surprised to see, he was third. That's weird. But yeah, in my opinion, quiet night for Webb. Now, he looked good. Justin had made the comment of like, man, it is impressive how dialed KTM has how dialed the KTMs are this year compared to last year.
Yeah, and Coop through the whoops was really impressive to me too. Running the right side and then being able to change direction and go all the way back across to set up for the corner.
Yes.
I thought that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, so that's, I don't know, super, super duper interesting there. Tomac third, neck injury?
So I don't know a ton about neck injuries and stuff. But
I don't either.
How long does this linger for?
And it didn't look good all day. Like, that third place in the main was surprising because the heat wasn't good. I don't know if you paid attention to him in qualifying. He did some fast laps, looked up, and like was not happy that he was not at the top of the board.
He definitely did not look like himself.
No.
So that leads me to believe the injury is still there. He's still dealing with something. I'm glad he actually came out and told us, because now he gets third and we're like, okay, yeah, we know why.
Yeah.
That's the thing I hate about this sport is like, oh my God, Tomac's riding like dog shit. Why? And we would have never known before. Yep. So I'm glad he faced the media, came out and said it.
Here's my thing. Every time they started talking about it on the big screen there were bikes on the track. I couldn't hear. All I heard was injury, and then it was, and I'm like, God, come on. Just shut up for a second here.
Hang on. How about this, though? I don't like this, but how about before every single main, it's like, ball with the ball, and then this crazy techno beat drop and the gate drops.
Yes. Drop the gate. DJ K.O.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of lame. But.
Yeah. So anyway, but again, a quiet third for him too, which again was very surprising because I thought, these Sexton's going to really make some points on him.
Yeah, but still kind of limited some damage.
Yep.
Limited.
Something like that. So, yeah, Justin made this comment to me and I'm going to reference this because Justin was with me yesterday.
God, I wish he was just here to reference himself.
So I'm going to reference this. Contract Barsha is exciting.
Dude,
and
so much fun to watch.
Good. He's a good effing rider.
He's a good fucking rider.
Man, dude, I love
watching Barsha right now.
He was spicy with it all day yesterday. Has he turned over a new leaf, though? Because he's been spicy and with these guys and not being Bam
He
Bam.
hit Sexton pretty hard.
Did he?
Oh, yeah.
I guess
he hit Sexton pretty hard. Because he passed him and then or couldn't quite get the move completely done coming out of the whoops in that 90. Sexton made a very clean block pass and then brushed foot peg on the bail, covering the line on the inside. That's
yes, where the bails or the top blocks went both directions.
Yeah, and then after the big double in the middle, Barsha hit him hard.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But dude, super exciting to watch. Practice, I'm like keeping my eye on him. I had my phone on him the whole time, tossing it upside down off the doubles.
He looked good yesterday again.
Yeah,
looked really, really good, really spicy.
He ended up fourth.
Yeah,
Another
fourth place, man.
I like contract year Barsha. I wish it was just every year Barsha.
It's gonna be super interesting to see if Gas re-signs him or if they wash their hands and then where he goes from there. Because, interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting.
All right, Ken Roxon was fifth, and
a lot of people are pissed at me for my hot take.
What'd you say on this?
So, the Twitter army was after me.
Okay.
But I said, yes, I'm super stoked for Kenny, but his ride in Indy was a fluke. I will say it's a fluke until he backs it up in podiums in Detroit, and people were like, well, he's, what did somebody say? Oh, second in the heats, fastest, all that. And I was like, yeah. Fastest at Daytona, second in the heat.
I will say he looked really good all day because I was keeping an eye on him too, because I had said to Justin, I was like, I have to see how this weekend goes. After that heat, I was like, dude, maybe they fixed that bike. Maybe they fixed that bike. And then he comes out in the main, and it wasn't. There wasn't any flash. It was very much
flat.
like Anderson. Yeah, it was very flat in the main. And 5th place isn't bad, but it just wasn't backing up the win he had last week. So, yeah, at this point, it's like there was a lot of talk this week on other shows about it being a track-induced win last week.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of looking that way, And again, it's not saying he can't get another one. I mean, Seattle, we're talking right now about it being a rain race or whatever, and it's like, well, he could pull another start and get another win. But again, I don't think he's there to challenge the big 3 at this point. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I would love to be wrong because I like Kenny. I like everything he's about, but track-induced win, like he had the opportunity, took it, made it happen. But even with a start last night, I don't think he was.
No.
I don't think he could run with those guys.
No, I don't think so either. So, Christian Craig is 6th, and that's another good ride. I watched him quite a bit yesterday too, because we're real hard on the bike is what's holding him back.
The whoops.
Yeah, and he did not impress me through the whoops the way Sexton did, which Craig is a whoop god and should impress me through the whoops. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that bike is fully right. But he has obviously done a lot of testing with it. He's made some changes, and he's making it work, and he's working his way up there. Another thing I've heard through a couple other shows is that there is a bit of a mentality thing there of, like, he doesn't feel like he belongs in this class, essentially.
Let me ask you this, and I was thinking about this too. When he did jump in the 450 class, where did he finish? Because is it the bike, or is this who he is?
Let me go. Let's
see what kind of results that he's had in the past on a 450 and Supercross, because I think this is about where he's been. Like, I think this is who he is.
Oh, boy. Let's go. Oh, we're in 2020 here. Let's see here. So, 2018.
450.
This is interesting. 2018, yes, he raced 450 Supercross here, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, this is
6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, the whole time.
Hold on. Atlanta, 5th. Daytona, 4th. St. Louis, 9th. Indy, 16th. Seattle, 11th. Minneapolis, 9th. Foxborough, 11th. Salt Lake City, 4th. Vegas, 4th.
See, I'm thinking this might be just who he is.
Yeah,
this is
maybe
where he slots into the 450 class.
Maybe. Here's a Salt Lake City from 2017, 450, 11th. Let's see here. Let's go back. You got any more 450s? That's outdoors.
Click on one of those and see who's in the class, like who finishes in front of him.
I don't know. Hold on a second.
Go to a Supercross result.
I'm scrolling back even farther. Nope, we got nothing really there. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. All right, so Salt Lake City, 2017 on the 450. Winner, Eli Tomac, Dungey, Ando, Marv, Josh Grant, Chad Reed, Davey Millsaps, Baggett, Webb, Dean Wilson, Craig, 11th.
All the same guys are beating him right now?
All the same guys are beating him right now.
Who finishes behind him that's beating him now?
Let's see. Behind him, we have Tickle, Brayton, Weimer, Stu, Malcolm, Barsha, Freeze, A-Ray.
Must not have been a contract here.
7 Deuce Deuce, Bogle, and Angelo Pellegrini.
So, that's what I was thinking. Is it the bike, or is this just who he is?
Maybe that's just who he is. He just slots in as like a 5 to 10th place guy, and there we are, which is fine. I mean, again, that to me, that's a great second 450 guy on any team who can put you in the top 10, maybe top 5, maybe on a really good night with a really good start on a track like last week. He gets on the box. Mm-hmm. And dude, I mean, that's a good living. You're going to make $300, $400K a year doing that.
More than that.
Yeah. Plus your gear deals, like that's your salary from the team. You're going to make $300, $400K. Yeah. YouTube money, all this stuff. I mean, I don't see that being a bad gig. So, and I mean, if he could maintain like a 5th to 6th place finish here every single week, like that's good. He'll be like top 5 in points. Like to me, that's a pretty good situation in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm saying this is who Christian Craig is.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. So I still, man, though, I still would be interested to see
On an aluminum frame
an
bike.
aluminum frame bike on that Star or something, man. Like, just is it a few spots better? Is he battling to be, top 3 or like third-ish, like a 3 to 6 guy instead of a 5 to 10 guy? I don't know. We'll see.
Yep.
I'm sure we'll see at some point. So, 7th place, Justin Hill there.
Hey!
Listened to some interviews with him and his brother here, and they both were bummed for AP.
Oh, yeah.
Like, ruined both their races because AP did not get that win. So,
Oh, and he crashed right in front of Hill. And,
yeah, when he was getting lapped. But man, that's a really good ride for Justin Hill there, and he makes it sound like he wants to keep riding. So he's hoping that these finishes keep the team happy to keep him around. Is what he's hoping.
Can you eat your words? Do you want me to bottle them up, let you drink them, or what do you want me to do?
I
here?
mean, it's
2 years off running this well.
I mean,
Staying consistent, slowly getting better.
Look, it's good.
Okay,
It's good. I'll give you that.
yeah.
So
yeah. How about the other guy in 10th?
well, just chill out.
Okay.
8th place, AC.
Listen. Okay, so we'll give. Okay, well, I'm gonna eat my words here. I'm gonna bottle them up and drink them.
Go for it.
Hill doesn't beat AC unless AC weeds his shit in front
Like
of me.
he did last night.
Yes, he weeded it.
Yep.
Probably the same thing AP did, crashing the exact same spot.
Yeah, he did. That's what he said I heard him talking in an interview, and that's what he said. He's like, dude, I did the same thing AP did. Just got my wheel or my foot caught there, and just knacked off the side, and off we went. So
Yeah. However, again, I think that a good ride. He was pacing the front group there and looked to have enough fitness to go the distance.
Yeah.
And was staying right there in the mix, doing the jump line and the whoops.
Here's where he screwed up, though, was doing that jump line in the whoops. Now, I'll give it to him. He was trying to figure that out early in practice during the day. He was doing a jump line before anybody else through the whoops. But the jump line was way slower, and the whoops did not break down enough to justify doing that.
I don't know. I think Jason Anderson would say something different. Jason Anderson rode his ball sack right in front of AC into the ground.
Yeah, everybody else was blitzing though, man, in the
Yeah.
front. So when you've got the top 6, we'll call it, because I don't know about Justin Hill. I didn't pay much attention to him in the main. But when you've got the top 6, we're all blitzing through them all the way through. Like, those whoops didn't break down that bad. There was, and they were. Hey, I don't know if you heard this enough in the stadium. They were a whole foot wider than normal. Whole foot wider.
A whole foot.
Whole foot.
Wow, and guys were still weeding it off the side.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of Jason Anderson, 9th place, and he was spicy all day until that main, and then he was flat. I really thought, here we go, he's going to win this one.
I had him number 1 on my Rocky Mountain Fantasy, but back to AC again. Dude, I applaud him. I think that rides like that's all he needs. Clean it up a little bit, but I think,
Where was he at when he crashed? Do you remember?
I think he's 5th or 6th, but he was getting back in the flow and starting to make a little time on whoever was in front of him. I don't remember who it was.
I told Justin during the main.
I think it was Kenny. I think he was starting to catch Kenny again.
Oh, okay. I told Justin during the main, I'm like, if he ends up either on the box or in the top 5 with this, I am going to go hard after trying to figure out if he went to Costa Rica to get stem cells done. Because that is a big improvement in 2 weeks over whatever.
What else was going on?
Yeah. Because it's just like, how do we go from like, I can't hold on, my arm's going numb, and I'm dicking around in 9 to 12th place.
And
with
if he
Dino.
did get stem cells, fuck it.
Who cares?
Who
I don't
cares?
think
Fix
it's
the man.
Is it against the rules? I don't know. If it is, that's stupid, but whatever. There's dumber
He's
things
fixed.
like that. They're not legal in the U.S., so yeah, I don't know. But he looks a lot better. We'll see. We'll see moving forward here, because I'm not off that train yet. Last night, obviously, now we're a little skewed here because he crashed, so it's hard to tell. But he looked real good a lot yesterday.
Yeah.
So
I might fire off a text right now.
All right, so Ando in 9th there, and man, was he flat. And I listened to a post-race interview with him too.
He does not sound very good.
He wasn't super pumped about his main event.
So, before I fire off this text here,
My theory is just getting better and better that Kawasaki's already broke him, and he ain't gonna ride next year.
team pride. That's the issue.
I saw Tommy Tenders walking with some tenders yesterday.
Yeah. No fodder on the truck. And I think it looked very eerily similar.
Say that word again.
Let me restart here.
Say that word again.
I've hit my head a couple times.
Yeah, I hit my head today.
It looked very similar to his championship defending year, where he's just out there riding around trying to get expectation off him. I feel like because he went down. I watched him crash. He had a pretty good one. His balls probably hurt. But,
I didn't see that. So
no, he had an old Jeff Emming huckabuck, and after he got up, I was expecting to see a little bit of fight, and he just kind of rode around, man. And if you're the guys at Kawasaki and you're the big bosses, seeing him just out there kind of riding around like that, I don't think you're very happy. His interviews seem very flat, just like, hey, I'm here so I don't get fined kind of thing. Like,
he's not having fun.
Maybe he needs a guest. So I don't know, man. I it sucks, man, because a happy Jason Anderson is a very fun Jason Anderson.
Fast. But the crazy thing was he was fast all day. Like, heat race, he was really good. Qualifying, he was ripping starts and getting out in front there, and qualifying and just ripping laps for the first 3 laps, and looked good and was fast and spicy. And then he gets to the main and it's just nothing. And then he wads it and then he really is nothing. So
yeah, it was hard to watch.
Yeah.
Hard to watch.
It's super interesting compared to last year.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see the lap time chart of how he probably went from doing 54s were fastest.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably doing consistent 54s to doing consistent 58s.
No, so he ran. So the fastest lap of the main was a 52.566 by Chase, and Ando actually did a 52.676.
So it's
for
fast,
best
just
lap,
as fast.
just as fast.
So look at the second half of that main. Where was his laps?
I don't know. All I have is the thing.
Yeah, I would. Him and Dino were literally riding around out there together, and then at the end of the main, he was very sadly jumping through the whoops, barely doubling through them.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. It's an interesting thing that's going on there. I can't wait to see the off-season stuff. And my speculation video for silly season, the initial one I'm going to do here for this upcoming off week, is going to be awesome.
Yeah, Kawasaki is it's definitely doing what it does to riders. It seems like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not great. It's not great.
I know, and it just makes me scratch my head because Kawasaki is such a professional corporation.
Yeah,
and they are top notch in everything they do. Why does this happen?
Yeah,
so,
and it's happened for a long time. So
to a lot of different riders.
So it's a big question there. So,
but AC seems to be happy.
Is he though, or is it just a comfortability thing?
I don't know.
With AC, I really think it's a comfortability thing, and he's nervous to leave because I think with the wrist issues he's got going on here, I think he's nervous to leave because if he leaves and he doesn't perform, then the next team doesn't have a history with him that's going, man, we should really probably keep this guy. He's done a lot for us. He's sold a lot of bikes. We're like Kawasaki, he's got history with them, so they have almost this emotional connection, we'll call it, even though we've seen Kawasaki drop people, which was stupid before. But I don't know.
Yeah, it does scratch my head. It's just, like I said, I have a ton of respect for Kawasaki. They've won so much for a reason.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know.
They burn guys out so hard. It's crazy.
And what is that? What's the missing piece of the puzzle? So,
all right, moving on here. Josh Hill, 10th place. That's a really good ride for him. He was super surprised he was in the top 10. Yeah, out of the LCQ. Benny, 11th.
Very surprised. Should have put him on my fantasy team.
Yep.
But I can't ever do that.
Cade, 12th.
Season best.
Yep.
52.
Yep. Aaron Plessinger here manages to get 13th, even with wadding it. And, man, that was just a heartbreak. I give him so much credit for doing that interview. And, man, he was standing there doing that interview trying not to cry. You could tell. He was just trying to. I thought he was really hurt at first the way he got up and then went over and then fell off the bike.
Well, he didn't really fall off the bike. You saw it smoking. So that was, right in front of me.
Yeah.
So, dude, talk about heartbreak. I hear the crowd go nuts because I had my eyes on something else.
Yeah, I did too.
Crowd goes nuts. I look down. I'm like, oh my God, it's Plessinger. And I literally just put my hands on top of my head like this and just
Yep.
And I haven't done that and felt emotional like that in a very long time.
Nope.
And I think everybody in that stadium felt the same way.
Everybody was because they were loud for him. They were pumped for him, man. So, That's a tough one. I feel bad for him. Like, that would have been really good. Dude, he's lucky, though. The way he rolled into that, like...
He headbutted that thing.
Yeah, like, and I don't really have a good answer for what the answer was to go into that, the way he was going into it, but he got lucky the way he rolled, because when I rewatched that replay, I was like, holy, because, like, it was almost... He almost got it where it went directly into the top of the head there, and I was like, oh, that's bad. That's really bad.
I think what got him worse is that he tried holding on to that thing as much as he could.
He did.
And then he stepped off the side of the bike, and it launched him.
Mm-hmm.
Again, man, I can't express how heartbroken I am for the guy.
Me too.
And I think it was more gut-wrenching to watch him pull the bike off to the side, look down, see it smoking, and just clutch drop it. Get off the bike and just lay there. He just laid flat on his back looking up at the ceiling, and I felt so bad for him.
Most of the time when you throw your bike down in anger or whatever, I'm not pumped on it.
I don't think it was anger.
I don't think it was either. I think it was complete just emotional, holy crap, I can't believe that just happened to me after I just led this whole race.
I don't think the bike can... I think he thought the bike wasn't going to be able to finish kind of thing.
No, I did listen to an interview, and he did think the bike could have gotten there, actually. I don't know what was smoking on it, but he did, in an interview afterwards, he said, I think it could have actually finished. I could have got up and gone, but I wasn't sure at the time. But, it was just...
he just got up, just sat down, and just laid flat on his back.
Bummer deal. Such a bummer deal. Was so pumped. Such a good ride,
That place was going to erupt.
And second week in a row, feel good story, and we got it robbed from us.
Literally kicked everybody's ass. He was gone, dude. He got out front, and I'm like, oh my God, he's half a straightaway ahead.
And when he got to 5 seconds there, I was like, okay, well.
Even the last 4 laps, I'm watching him, and I was kind of marking him. Sexton was going off the face of the finish line as Aaron was hitting the face of the double to go into the whoops. 3 laps in a row right at the end. They were in the same spot, and I'm like, he's got him. He's got him covered.
Yeah. Sexton was catching him, and I was kind of marking it too in some different spots, and I'm like, but he's not catching him enough. He's doing like a 10th here, 10th there. Like it's not enough to actually do it. So I don't know, man. That was rough. I feel bad for him. I feel really bad. Ashley was asking me, she's like, he's never won a race. I'm like, not a 450 race.
He
So
only has a couple. Well, I mean, he's got 3 or 4 podiums, which is very respectable. But
I don't know.
To win it that fashion, though, your first one, get out front, pull away, somewhat hometown.
Yeah.
Man.
Close enough.
Yeah, I mean, Indy's more.
Yeah, more so.
But
yeah.
I'm sure he had a lot of people there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, all right. So, Josh Cartwright, 14th. That's a career best for him.
Wow, yeah.
Grant Harlan wadded it and still somehow got 15th. I'm not really sure. He crashed at the end. I saw him laying there. I don't know what the hell happened because I thought
he's on my fantasy team as well. So go 4 for 4 for guys hitting the ground.
He was on mine too.
Yep, 4 for 4 for guys on the ground.
Kev again 16th with great starts and busting out that quad.
That's pretty ballsy busting that out
in the heat or in the main there. Yeah. Yeah, because I like I said something to him between qualifying and the night show. He told me he wasn't going to do it. I saw Sexton do it in the heat. I saw Cade doing it in his heat, and I said, you got to do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, sight lap send. And I was like, sweet. So
I didn't realize that he's as young as he is.
Who, Kev?
Yeah. Because me and Emily were talking about it, and I was like, holy shit, he's only 23 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's young. He's got time. So it was funny because the people sitting behind us, so when it kind of smoothed out in the middle and like in the starts and stuff, we were really cheering for Kev. And the race gets over, and they're like, y'all got somebody in the race? And I'm like, yeah, man, we sponsor this Kevin Moran's guy, and you know what? Oh yeah, I like him. I've seen him or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah. They were like, man, we couldn't figure it out because you guys were like really cheering for somebody, and it wasn't like any of the top guys. And we were like, who the hell? And I'm like, yeah. And they were like, cool. I'm like, yeah, check out his YouTube, man. Okay, cool. So,
did you plug Moto Aftermath show?
No,
puss.
I mean, I had the shirt on. They saw it. The whole nation saw it because it was on TV. Yeah, trust me. Hey, in the sponsor...
There was a certain someone in the inner workings that just took that off the TV.
In the sponsor packet for next year, there is going to be 2.5 seconds,
2.5 seconds of
TV
airtime.
time in the show shirt. So,
That's funny.
Shane got 17th, so that was that's
Johnny
interesting.
Shane's just wasn't looking good all day, I don't think.
Starling 18th, Norin 19th, Marquier 20th.
Oh, good for Marquier, kind of picking
Yeah.
up steam and putting it in the main.
Yep,
Got real lucky for that what the hell LCQ red flag, though.
Yeah,
We can talk about that, too. But.
Yeah. Dino 21st and Chiz 22nd. Poor Dino.
Chiz did not chiz.
Chiz did not chiz.
How about
at
him
all.
in the heat?
I didn't
crashing?
see that. Somebody was standing up in front of me, so I missed that, and then I
Cartwright
just see
crashed,
them both
got up
sitting
in
there.
time, hit the button.
Yeah.
Chiz didn't hit the button.
No.
No.
So.
Starter strikes again.
Yep. Yeah, and the red flag was in this or the 251?
It was in 450 LCQ.
Yeah, the
'cause
phantom
Starling
red
was up
flag. Because I was texting everybody who was there,
Yeah.
going, "Do you see anybody down?"
Yeah, I'm looking around. I'm watching the asterisk guy was sitting there eating a hot dog.
I was gonna say the asterisk dudes weren't. None of them were moving, and I'm like, "What the heck?" And the only thing we could figure is like maybe between the double and the whoops over there, because we couldn't see because the manager's tower was in the way. And then then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh yeah, the gate flinched," and I'm like, "Oh." Because even one of my buddies who was sitting in a completely different section over there, he texted me. He's like, "Phantom red flag," because I was so confused.
I was super confused too. I'm like, what is going on?
There wasn't any caution flags before, nothing. So, yeah, that was interesting. That was weird. That doesn't really happen that often. So, all right. Anything else with that before we move on here?
No,
to,
another good night of racing. The first half of that main, I'm like,
Oh yeah.
oh god, we got a freight train of all the boys.
Yeah, the first half was really good, and then they kind of leveled out, and it was kind of boring for a little bit, and then the Plessinger thing happened at the end, and that made things exciting. So
Yeah, it was literally all the big dogs and Kev.
Yep.
Right in the beginning.
Yeah, dude. Those starts were awesome. So, all right, 450 race recap. Once again, brought to you by our friends at Gutterworks.